This video will explain the final strategy for propositional logic, what I call the Abracadabra strategy. So what the Abracadabra strategy says is use the rules of replacement, so double negation, De Morgan's, arrow, or contraposition, to turn formulas into something that's easier to work with. Alternatively, use the rules of replacement backwards in order to obtain a goal that is easier to reach. So let me show you a little bit about what I have in mind. So suppose that you have the formula not A wedge B. So anytime I see something like that, or I see not, it's false that A and B, or it's false that A arrow B, I want to use one of the rules of replacement to get rid of that negation, to push that negation in, because when it's on the outside of the formula, there's really not much I can do with that formula. But if I use De Morgan's on it's false that A wedge B, well then I get not A and not B, which is all kinds of useful, because now I have a conjunction that I can just take apart. If I use De Morgan's on it's false that A and B, I get not A or not B. That may or may not be easier to deal with, but it probably is. It's probably easier to deal with than the negated conjunction. And definitely when I have the negated conditional statement, I want to use one of the versions of the rule of arrow that I talked about, and that will give me A and not B, which again is a conjunction, so that's all kinds of useful. So I can do lots of good stuff with that. Now let's look at working backwards. So suppose I have as a goal, let's say the formula, it's false that A wedge B. And I'm like, well, I don't really see an easy way to get that, except maybe doing a reductio proof. Assume A or B, get a contradiction, then I can get not A. It's false that A wedge B. Sure, but what if instead I used De Morgan's on it, and I made my goal instead to get not A and not B? Then I just need to get not A, and I need to get not B, and then I can put those together using ampersand in, and then I can use De Morgan's to get my final goal. And it could be that it's really easy, or much easier, to get not A and to get not B than it is to get it's false that A wedge B. So that's what I mean by using the rules of replacement backwards. So write your goal down at the bottom of the page and then work backwards using one of the rules of replacement and try to find something that maybe is a little bit easier to reach than your ultimate goal.